Second most wholesome YouTube commenter not Coco asked for a Yone versus Riven matchup. I will even add him into the call so we can visually see as well with me together, right? We can see this matchup. He said he is down for it, so let's call him. He doesn't know so I'm filming it. Shh. Start call. Sec. He said a sec. Maybe he means sex? you mean maybe it maybe a typo. Alright. Laughing at unfunny things like a boss. Because isn't it a typo? Like grammar mistake? No? Isn't it? Okay. Oh, where is he? A second passed. 1 second has passed. 1 second has passed. GIF. Where is it? Jojo. Ah, fuck. 1 second has passed, Jojo. Sent him the image. 1 second has passed already. Can't. I can't take it anymore. Sex. Oh, he meant seconds. More seconds than 1 second. Okay, that's what's wrong with my camera? Camera is not wholesome. Hope my PC doesn't break because of that. Maybe camera off. I mean, but camera is needed now, let's be real. Joining soon. Soon has passed. Soon has passed. Soon has passed. let's search the matchup until then. Yone versus Riven. Top lane or mid lane, it rarely happens when people switch lanes or even gets played on mid lane, so I won't search up mid lane matchup. The matchup goes a bit differently because both of them are more vulnerable to support ganks in general, maybe AD carry ganks in some rare scenarios, right? So generally this matchup is getting played on top, not on mid, so this will be a top lane review, right? Because the macro is different on mid lane, so there are reasons why do we watch the top lane one, right? So Yone, is it Dzukill? Yeah, it's the Dzukill. I keep saying Dzukill because like that's how Drutut says it, and it just sticks with me like Dzukill and not the Zukill, right? Because you say the Zukill, but it's because like he had that weird accent. I kept saying it like that way, and I thought like that's correct actually, but apparently it's not, right? Where is accept? People can take these for people can take things for free. Accept, please, please. Like a boss. Quitting these apps to save up a little space. We've been waiting for quite a long time. How do I move this camera, by the way? Does anybody know it? I don't know it, how to move it. With Alt Z? Maybe is there like a way to move this camera settings? Video capture? I think this is the camera, no? Hello, accept. Alright, so hello, I will film soon, so like you gotta like act you gotta act like you're so like
Bruh.
you gotta
Stop
like
being retarded.
you gotta like be like I didn't know.
Yeah.
Be
It
like,
is shit that I didn't know anyway.
see, now you're already doing it quite well. Not just like a step. So this is the matchup, right? We can see it. We can see the comments. Oh, it says casually makes this Riven look bronze. I guess he wasn't bronze then. Dzukill versus Riven on top lane. Okay. These are his runes, not PTA, but he goes lethal probably. These are just standard runes in here against Riven. He takes exhaust, that's the main thing. Like, I played this matchup so many times in my life, and it took me so much time to realize without exhaust, you're not gonna win it, you know?
Yeah, I actually never take exhaust. That's great.
Oh my
I
god,
should.
that's bad. That equals bad. You know why? Because I played it so many times with TP, Ignite, whatever, and it's not good because is the thing about exhaust, it pressures Riven away from all-inning you early on, and if she tries
Yeah,
to do so, then she will be
run
run down
down.
by the exhaust and the
Mhm.
all-in, right? So it generally helps you a lot because even after 6 it becomes even more important when she has her ultimate and all that, like all in power, right? Like Riven players will generally go Ignite as well in this matchup most of the times, even in high ranks like the Dzukill plays in. People go Ignite on Riven, they don't go TP, therefore to match that you gotta go for your own exhaust. Without exhaust
Okay.
it's almost unplayable this matchup.
Got it, got it, got it.
That's
So
yeah.
without exhaust, Riven can zone you off
Yeah, I
the
mean,
new wave.
is the thing Ignite, Exhaust, or in some matchups are required and more valuable than TP. That's how I see it, especially in your solo queue games, where likely people won't play so safely around those summoner spells that you will regret not getting TP.
So will he be able to get these first 3 minions? Because he took exhaust.
Yeah, like it doesn't get run down. Like here's the thing: if you have exhaust, she's not like it. If you have it up and you don't use it, it means she's not allowed to just to run you down with her all in because you exhaust her all in damage. You slow her down, which means she can space out so easily,
And
and
then
you
lethal tempo,
you
basically.
have the
Yeah.
later tempo, right? Like you ramp it up. You have damage on Yone, but you don't have like you have DPS on Yone, but you don't have like as fast damage as Riven does.
Okay.
And he went for bomb plating and unflinching, just average runes against Riven against her WCC. Bomb plating is just a general thing against Riven. Okay, let's see what he does in here. He's just guarding, really basic thing against the possible invade. People are doing stuff, but he's not gonna fight this. If he's smart, he's not fighting it because Kane gonna get stacks and it's a 3v2 situation. Fiddlesticks is really weak level 1, so he's just hovering around. He's not looking to force anything, right? Now he's trying to get some Qs done, maybe. Yeah, he's getting the flash. I don't think so the Fiddlesticks honestly had to flash because of his buff W. Like he could ban after the Riven Q, he could ban just W. But I guess Riven would
I
ignite.
agree.
I think Riven would just ignite, then the healing wouldn't matter, so I guess he had to. I guess he had to, right? People are brawling around apparently. So the brawl is over. We have Ward on the blue, so it's really hard to invade. I think everybody goes back, yeah. Okay, so he goes back to the... Oh, he didn't expect this one, right? The Riven really had the mind games, by the way, right? We can see the Riven really had the
Yeah,
mind
yeah.
games. So he saw
She
the
walked
Dzukill.
straight.
Like this is where like the Dzukill will go. He won't go this way, right? And she really had the mind games. She went all the way upwards, right? And she didn't go downwards. Now I think he could
Hmm.
actually see it on his screen. He just didn't
Yeah,
look.
yeah. Saw her turn, but he didn't spot it.
Yeah, he actually saw him going a bit upward. So it's
Unlucky.
yeah, I guess it was like a slight vision mistake, or he didn't notice it. I guess, right? And then he gets cheesed, which is like really unoptimal because he loses a lot of HP. He lost lots of HP, right? Could ban.
Okay.
Yeah, just because of this early game brawl, he has a really big set disadvantage, right, in here.
I'd like to see how he plays it.
It's a bummer. He queued and Riven doesn't goes deeper because he would get the tornado, he would get eventually out, so she's not really trying to do anything, right? Now early
Because of
on,
exhaust,
yeah,
basically.
it's kind of a bummer to beat his behind with HP. Oh, and Kane is hovering around as well. They are really fighting ever since then, and I think Fiddle6 doesn't realize his Kane is the one that's getting his passive stack, so in here he's playing as safely as possible. Riven got level 2, so this is kind of a bummer to play it out like this, because you are disallowed from CSing, so sucks a
Mm-hmm.
little bit, but he's just soaking the XP, got level 2. Now the matchup gets a tiny bit easier, because you're allowed to CS with your W a bit more. picks it up with W. That's a slight mistake, I guess. He got a poke on Riven though. So he just doesn't do anything, right? He just does not do anything because she gets the level advantage, minion advantage. Kane is around,
It's
so...
interesting he was holding his level up. I wonder why, when E would be useful here. I
It
don't
would
think
be useful, but the shield is useful as well against, like, if Kane and Riven is diving, you know, because you get more shield then.
Oh, okay, I
He
understand.
got
So
exhaust as well, yeah. So he got exhaust and flash as well. I don't think so. It's likely they're gonna dive, but there is a
but E is
possibility.
good, better. Yeah, yeah.
There's a
If they are diving.
possibility. I think there is a possibility, and since there is a possibility, I wouldn't use W on Yone because it can give against two champions and minions. So if you hit the minions and the champions, you will get around 150. I don't know exactly, but you're gonna get a lot of shield, and you have an exhaust as well. So I don't think so. It's likely they're gonna try a dive against an exhaust flash up Yone. But they are forcing something. Now he will E. I think
That's why.
he should ban E downwards, I think, but
And I think it's better this way, so the Kane can't touch him.
I guess. I guess it's a bit safer, but they wouldn't dive. Like he would bait. He would possibly bait them into
Make
diving. Like,
them.
yeah, he would bait
Sure.
them. Like he could even eat through the tower, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's really niche, but he could ban
He
just.
dodged the dodge. He dodged the
Yeah,
Riven stun, which is really nice.
yeah. I mean, he could ban like he could ban. Like there's a way word where if he is downwards, he has exhaust flash up. I think he could ban outplay their damage, right? Then
Yeah.
maybe he gets a cheesy kill, but maybe they would just flash out as well. Then he trades flashes.
You think he should play for that?
It's
I think so too.
it's the safer way, you know. It's the safer
Yeah.
way. Like he had the W big shield, he had exhaust flash, so I don't believe they can dive like that, you know. So
Yeah.
I mean, what will happen? He will probably force out maybe a Riven Kane flash, right? But he has to possibly give up exhaust and flash, right? So there is like something he needs to give as well, possibly, just possibly. It's not 100%, right? Because he can also outplay like their stun, Riven's like third Q with his E, which is really easy to go back. So
Oh
watch out.
wow.
So even in here I've been talking, so watch out on his movement,
Yeah.
right? He has exhaust, you don't play exhaust in general on Yone. But this is how you should exhaust. So when Riven is looking to all in you like this, right? She knows you don't have bone plating, but it doesn't matter too much if you don't have bone plating or not, so watch out, right? Riven tries to all in, and he's always like positioning around his QW short trade as well, right? With his Qs. He's often like, in here we see visually she all-ins, right? She used her E, like important thing,
Yeah.
she used her E forward, she Qs forward. So she does not have mobility anymore to get out, right? So that means
She only
exhaust.
has 2 Qs left and a W.
Yeah, she has like one or two Qs up, right? And the W, of course, right? So in here we can see, like, in here he pops the exhaust because Riven is just all-inning, and if she gets exhausted and she can't kill Yone, then she will just slowly die, right? So look, I think his exhaust was a tiny bit late, but it's fine. And in here he's playing out, look how patiently he plays it out with his Q. He doesn't instantly Q, he waits a bit and he just waits a tiny bit because it gets a bit more clear, you know, for him to connect his Q, right? And now...
So he actually doesn't use W during that whole thing because does it slow his DPS if
Yeah,
he
so here's the
W?
thing, like W has like this amount of range, right? Q has something like this, it's a bit shorter, right? And
Yeah.
your auto attack has something like this, right? Something like this. So you want to auto in melee range, then you want to Q, and if she is out of Q and auto range, you will W, right?
Okay.
Because like early on, it has like a cast time, it has a longer cast time, and it, like if you W in melee range, often it will happen people will walk out of your auto attack range, you know?
Got it.
And in here he just picks up
He
basically the kill.
flashed.
Yep, so there was like a flash play in here, of course, right?
Wow.
So he intentionally doesn't W's, you know, it was intended,
Yeah.
right? In here he could ban also like auto flash Q W, but
Yeah, I was wondering he could W that, but he still goes for the auto.
yeah, he could W that, but I assume he kept it. Like I think Wing there was a slight misplay, I guess, but it's not a big deal, I assume, right? Because
Okay.
his lethal tempo was completely stacked up, which means his W comes up 6 seconds up on rotation, which means he almost always has it, so it wouldn't actually
That's so
set him
smart.
behind. right? It will,
He flash Qs,
yeah,
and he knows that it'll give him the knock up Q
yeah.
next rotation. So if she flashes away, he'll catch up. That's
Yeah,
it.
it's really important, by the way, to use W as a last resource because you're gonna stack up little tempo, which means this won't have cooldown. You know, it won't have a long cooldown. And watch out how he is as well, right? He goes forwards and he is
Yeah.
backwards for healing because he will bounce forwards. You know, when he arrives, he will bounce a bit forward, and he can win sometimes. So that's how you can use your E to kind of like get a bit forward into towards
Yep.
the lane. Now again, Riven is not 6 yet, she's level 5, Yone has a Berserker Boots advantage. The problem is I think Riven has an assist or a kill, I'm not completely sure actually what she has. He will probably tap soon to watch out for his items. Now the first thing he should ban do, I don't like how he's walking, right? Now two things he can do in here, right? We go a bit backwards, he goes like this towards the bush, right? Or he can bounce the ward from this area. Going straight up to lane, I think it's really bad when you have like zero vision over the map, so that's a thing he could do, so it allows us to get some safety, because if he wards like this bush or somewhere this area, the enemy jungler can't really gank from the top side bushes because we have minions, so the only way he ganks is this area, right? And
Okay.
then we have more space to escape, right? So your first thing usually shouldn't really be just to walk to lane, right? Now I don't see if the jungler is bot side or anything because my camera is again in the bad spot. So
He'll be around because they started on
yeah,
the top sides,
yeah,
so it's respawning. Yeah.
yeah. So by the way, in here he had like a slight mistake. So Riven was like walking towards him with with her third Q, and what he should aim to do is just hover around Riven, but slightly out of the Q range of Riven, right? And when she hasn't, and then her third Q is it turns off, you know, after some seconds, he can go for an E all in because she hasn't got her Q. Right, so in here we go.
Okay.
In here she wastes a E, right? Really good, she wasted a E. And in here what the Dzukill should then do, he can hover his mouse something like this, and he can dodge her third Q. Like your mouse should be in this position because you're looking to dodge her third Q, right? She already used 2 Qs, we can see it in here, we saw it in our screen as well, right? So
Yeah.
his mouse was in a bad position because he wanted to go for a Q, but dodging like is the thing, like
Yeah.
dodging is more important than swinging a Q in because there is a chance your Q gonna get cancelled. As well, even if you hit it in, it's not as valuable as dodging to the side.
Because then you can run her down again
Then you
because she
can
has
get,
no.
yeah, then she has no E, she has no Qs, right? Then you can get a really, really strong trade with the E speed, Berserker speed. You're gonna take something like this. You're gonna take something like this, around half HP, right?
It's a big circle. Yeah.
Around that area, right? Or like you could even upwards, right? Like there is some way if he eats that, then he's in a good spot. But he can still all in. Like he knows Riven has still no E up yet. It's coming up soon,
And
I
she has
think.
no flash, so I think she dies here then.
Yeah, he's just. But watch out, he doesn't use his intentionally his E, right? And there is like an importance of that as well because he uses it when he finishes off the Riven, right? Because chances are you won't be able to finish off the target. So sometimes it's better to Q forward or to ultimate forward and only use your E when you use it as a finisher because it sometimes early on it can take you more than 5 seconds to kill somebody, which means that
Oh.
you will go back, and if you miss your Q, you're in a bad spot, right?
Ah, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
And it gives you a dash as well, right? But you already have a dash in your queue to dash on top of the target. So it's kind of like wasting 2 dashes at the same time, right? Your E is a dash and your Q is a dash as well, but your Q is enough to get on top of somebody. So
Yeah, that's.
it's
I,
kind
I
of like
always would use E first, so that's my bad.
it's kind of like when a Katarina tries to chase down somebody and she uses both of her E's in melee range, and she's not like waiting until the enemy champion space is out of her auto range and then E her, you know, because it's not a rotation. His E is not a rotation ability. He doesn't spam it as fast as possible. Early on, it's not a rotation ability.
Okay.
If you use it once efficiently, it means that you will be able to get a kill, right? It has 20 seconds cooldown, which means you need to only use it once correctly. And
Got it.
he gets an extra dash. He gets the speed, right? So apparently you can even hold into your E sometimes just to dodge an important like CC ability. For example, you can time it towards some type of CC abilities that are really easy to be predicted. For example, you can E sideways to dodge a CC, or you can also just E backwards. Like you can E in some direction, and if there is some type of, I don't know, maybe a Morgana Q coming towards you, then you can just E back, right? So like you can use it kind of like a cleanse as well, you know.
Wonder what he goes for now.
He Bryce
So he doesn't
refillable.
go Zeal. Okay.
He goes Zeal, probably he goes Zeal in this matchup. Mobility is really valuable against Riven. In fact, Zeal is an item people actually spam in many matchups where mobility is valuable, and aside of that in melee matchups Zeal is decent as an item. Did I pause? No.
Why did he get a longsword then?
I mean, maybe he doesn't go for it. I'm not quite sure. Like Shield Bow is good against Riven and against Kayn, right? So
I
Shield
thought if
Bow.
Yone is ahead, he should go Zeal.
Zeal is really snowbally, but it's more snowbally from mid lane than top lane, you know. So
Okay.
it's kind of like you need Shield Bow against Riven, you know. Like the faster you have Shield Bow, the safer you are, right? So against some champions, you should aim to rush it because they are so dangerous, right?
Okay.
For example, even on mid lane, like Zeal is generally good in mid, so watch out what he did. So he saw where the Kayn approximately.
Stopping his recoil, yeah.
He saw where approximately, right? He doesn't exactly know, but approximately he recalls here. And what he does, there is nothing better to do for him. So for him, watch out, there is a minion wave, but why doesn't he just push his? Why doesn't he just last hit
It's
minions?
gonna freeze.
It's more valuable. It's more valuable to cancel his recall than to get minions in here, right? Now I'm gonna remove my camera to see why. Because I don't know how to move it, so let's just remove the camera. Fuck. I mean, it doesn't allow me to open up GeForce. Now it does. Good. Camera off. Off like a boss. Good. Now in here, mainly the reason for that is Fiddlesticks is hovering both sides, right? And Meat has prio as well, some level of prio. Lucian is coming soon, so that means he wants to delay his recall before he reaches his camps, right? And he can generally do this because he's really ahead, and it's really hard to be punished because even if anyone shows up randomly, he just like he will just
He's
generally
out.
just eat back, right? Right, and in here his recall got cancelled. He could even leave a ward in here, but it's not necessarily. Riven is mid lane for some random reason, and now he will push. Or he can freeze as well, that's completely fine. He can freeze because his exhaust is coming up soon. He has ult, he has an advantage, so freezing is totally fine as well. Yeah, and as I said, Kane's recall was delayed, and now the Fiddlesticks can secure the Drake, right?
Okay.
It's like a really underrated thing to do with Yone, right?
That's so smart, yeah.
Now you can use your E as well to set up a freeze, or to just like you can manipulate in some way the wave. For example, you can E forward, so like you will tank some tower shots, but if you want to recall, you can kind of like E forward and hold the minion wave in one position, then E back really quick without dying, of course. Then like you can like just push under the like if you can't push the wave, you might just E forward, right? It just allows you to get a faster recall. For example, if you're in this spot, right? For example, you're in this spot, you can just walk backwards, E forwards, and you can get a faster recall by face tanking these minions with your E. Then you will just E back when the next wave just arrives, and you can set up freeze, and you can win. You can win some time when it comes to reset and come back, right? That's why it can be useful, right? In here he's pushing it a bit too fast. Like I guess he's just timing a bit the wave. Or even he's just like, I think he's rage roaming right now. Yeah, I think he noticed that the guy is just rage roaming, so soon the enemy mid laner will arrive. I'm not sure who's the enemy mid laner, what champion it is. So he stacks up his tornado, he still has like a small freeze in here, right? Kayn is bot side, right? So he just plays it out slowly. He can totally hold the freeze, which kinda holds the enemy mid laner in hostage situation because he can't really come up. No, he's not even coming, right? So even if Riven is rage roaming, he's not even giving a shit about like about unfreezing this area because he can just like hold hostage like anybody on top lane because he has exhaust, he has ultimate. So if Riven or if Talia steps up, they are most likely just dead in here, right?
Yeah.
So he just doesn't place 4 plates, and in here it's really smart because he would get 1 or 2 plates, right? But unfreezing the wave would provide them more XP and more gold, right? And since nobody can match, no Talia can't match him, Riven can't match him, it's really good what he's doing, right? And
Yep.
Kane was bot side as well. He visibly saw Kane was bot side, so realistically they can't really break the freeze, because I feel like if Kane tries to break the freeze, he might die if he has no ult. Who knows, right? Not sure if it got pinged, but it's really dangerous to try to unfreeze this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Talia is mid as well. Like nobody wants to rotate, because like what happens? Just you will just all in them, right? And it's
Yeah.
really dangerous to have. Actually, it can be more dangerous to have
He-
exhaust on Yone than ignite, because
I mean,
when. Oh yeah, what do you wanna say?
he's denying a whole lane of XP and gold from the enemy team.
Yeah,
So
I think since for 1 or 2 minutes he been freezing so far, right? And
yeah.
exhaust is really dangerous on your own, because if you Q and you have your tornado, basically if you E forward and you exhaust somebody, it's really easy to connect your Q. It's easier to connect your Q. That's why it's quite dangerous, and it can be more valuable than a ignite, because it
Yep.
allows you to swing in more auto attacks meantime somebody is slowed down, right? Now in here, like the more damage you have, the more valuable the slow becomes from exhaust eventually. Okay, so he just pushes it, of course, like there is no reason for him to hold into a freeze anymore. He sees the Riven, right? Level 6, Kane got the Heraldo, so he's thinking between queuing the guy or leaving it. He could he could leave it, but I don't think so. Kane is really a danger.
He can dive this guy, right?
He can, but the problem is she has E up, which means he can't really ult the Riven, right? Kane is hovering
Okay.
as well, so he will ult the Kane right now. Let's see what he does. He doesn't.
Why does he walk up here?
There is no
He
reason
has
for
no
that.
shield bow.
Okay,
Can't he get? He's looking to outplay, maybe.
he's looking to outplay, maybe get a play done, but probably will just disengage, right?
Yeah.
He could also like try to like he had his tornado and he had his E. He could maybe like E Q flash in his Q animation. He would get possibly a sneaky kill on Riven in
Yeah.
here.
If Riven E's like into the minion wave here, he just insta ults maybe.
Yeah. I mean, so in here he Qs, and in here he could really easily like maybe go down, but it's a bit risky, right? There is like a risk, right? Like in here he could then maybe try to kill the Talia, but we don't know if she
And
has flash.
Riven,
We don't know if she
yeah,
has flash, and they could just kill him as well. But in here, like, he had an opportunity. Like, he either goes on Talia, or he either goes on this guy. And worst case scenario, I think he just ease back and flashes out or ults out, right? But it's hard to kill him when Kane is formless, right? So I think there is a ward where Riven just dies in here, right? And now I think he commits, or?
now he just ults. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, there is a reason why he ulted and why didn't he E ulted, right? Do you know why didn't he E ult in here?
because it's faster.
I mean, it's a bit faster, we can say that, but the reason for that is Riven will dodge anyways the ultimate because of her dashes, right? Or her mobility. It's possible to even sidestep it, right? She flashed
Hmm.
it. In this case, she flashed it, right? And the
If he
reason for
E'd right now, he would.
yeah,
It would be worse for him. Yeah, it'd be
yeah.
harder.
So the reason why he used his ultimate to gap close, right? Because in here, if he ulted, right? Like she would flash it anyways, right? Cause her flash is up, which means that Yone would like just slowly go back unless if he flashes or exhausts, right?
Yep.
And in here he doesn't need to use Summoner's Pass, right? Like if he did it reverse, he needed to use possibly flash or exhaust, right? But he could keep both of them, right?
Yep.
It's a bit more safe, right? To do this way. Because you don't need to get the damage to your E from your ultimate to kill the Riven, right? You don't need to... you can make it safer. Instead of trying to deal more damage, you can make it safer. Okay, so it picks up basically the plates. There is like nothing to say about this. They are rotating upwards, Jin and Yumi. So soon he will leave this area because he's... No, he's not. Apparently they're fighting. So he's directly even taking these plates. I mean, he's greeding right now because he really wants his shield bow. So I guess Riven is coming soon, but she's not really a danger. Neither like Kane. Like it's really hard for them to like deal with Yone. He will probably even E forward to get the plates, right? He doesn't ease. He just queues out. Got 2 auto attacks, not 3 auto attacks, because the minions will get anyways the plates for him. So that's like really good. He can sell refillables, or he can also get next wave. Now in here, what's he doing? It's really safe to do
Dropping
this.
ward.
It's really safe to do this. It's better if he E's and wards instead of not Eing, because if he gets caught by anything in this bush, then he might just be dead, right? So you can always like E back to cleanse yourself if they throw something at you, right?
Yeah.
So it's easy, it's safer to ward like this, right? Because Riven is not a danger towards you, so at this point of the game, even if he uses his E, it doesn't mean that Riven can like automatically all in him, right? Which means that he's allowed to use his E just to make some vision safely, right? He just resets, he could even Q in the bush, but I guess it doesn't matter too much. Okay. Now they still don't see him anyways if he resets or not, so he gets his Oracle, he could get also a control ward, but it's not a big deal. This point of the game, it's quite good to have control wards. So now
So he leaves the lane here.
Yeah, I think it freezes again, or... Oh no, it works. Yeah, like now he's fishing for kills with his ultimate, right? He's coming to the Drake fight, he's really ahead, so this is completely fine what he's doing. Okay, so he's like going downwards, he's trying to pick up some kills with his ultimate, right? Because he roams for a reason, like he also could get plates, right? He could also get top plates, that's fine as well, but he feels like he needs to participate in this Drake fight because he's really ahead, he can get really easily kills. And the thing is, if he doesn't like tries to do something at this point of the game, possibly like they will just snowball the game before he gets to do anything from top side. That's like one of the reasons why he does this, right?
Okay.
Although there is a risk that he won't get anything, but he kinda needs to go for this play, otherwise he will be kinda locked out of the game slowly, you know?
Yep.
Okay, so he tried to do something in here, but at least he pressured the enemy team away from the Drake, so we can...
So he swaps to the side of the map where he can actually apply pressure.
Yeah, but I think he could...
the ADC goes down.
Yeah, but I think he could really easily like just get the top weight, because this Drake is not too valuable from my opinion. It's like, it's first Drake for the enemy team, so I do believe getting those uncontested top plates, that uncontested top tower would be better from my opinion, because it would provide shit ton of gold, and the minions as well provide some gold and XP. I think it would be better than trying to flip a roam. I'm not sure, like, okay, they maybe get the bot tower, or they maybe get like what the Drake, most likely they're gonna get the Drake if it doesn't comes down, but I think the Drake is not as valuable as the consistent
Yeah, I agree.
tower,
I think the top golden tower, it's like...
Yeah, so is the thing,
better.
like, yeah, is the thing, like, people really overvalue these Drakes, but what this Drake gives, it gives you 3.5% anti-slow and 3.5% movement speed out of combat, which is like whatever. Which is like whatever on most of the champions in his team. Maybe it's kinda good on Fiddlesticks, but I don't know, like, it's not the best Drake for... Now he's just trying to get the plates, but the plates expire soon, so I think it was a bit of a bummer. Now he doesn't reveals, right? Watch out, because so many people are missing. He doesn't reveals, he steps up, he doesn't reveals, he doesn't take the plates because so many people are on the map missing. So what he should ban do, he could ban by a control ward, he could ban at Farsight, he could E downwards or bounce a ward in here, and he could Farsight this area, and he can push safely, right?
Yeah.
But since he didn't get any wards, he just can't show up. It's just really hard to show up, right? He gets one plate, of course, right? But he eats 4 wards because we don't see anything, so it's generally unsafe to just step up.
It's really dangerous.
It's really dangerous, right? Now he's quite.
He is like trying to bait. I think it feels like he's trying to bait as well. Someone.
Yeah, that can happen.
Because of how strong he is.
Now the Kayn is coming, he has exhaust, let's see what he does. He doesn't exhaust. I don't know why didn't he exhaust. I mean, if he knew that Kayn is behind and he doesn't need exhaust in here to kill both of them with shield bow, I guess that's fine, right? If that was calculated from his side. But I would definitely exhaust the Riven, I would definitely exhaust the Kayn. I do believe that's safer.
I think if you exhaust the Kayn, he just presses ult and waits for it. But the Riven, I would probably...
So basically, we know what Kayn did. Kayn procced his passive on him, Kayn QW Prowler's team. That's a lot of damage to cut, you know, like, yeah, let's say, like... Kayn,
okay.
That's a lot of damage to cut, you know, like, let's say Kayn will ult him, even though he gets exhausted and exhaust will get off. That's 100% true, but the damage cut you will get out of it is really valuable, so from my opinion I would exhaust it, but apparently it worked out without exhausting because Riven and Kayn is so behind that they can't deal with him, right? But if they wouldn't be this behind, then I would definitely exhaust, right?
Okay.
I guess he assumed, right? He assumed that they are so behind, so he could just greed on his exhaust, right?
Yeah, he
I
has 50% kill participation, so he has
yeah,
to.
yeah, like I assumed that was his thought process, that they are not that strong, so he just greeds on his summoner spells, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Maybe he thinks she's win trading or something.
I guess the Riven is just tilted, you know? Because like most of the Rivens are used to win this matchup, because most of the own players don't play with exhaust, they play ignite or TP, and she thought this will be an auto win, you know? And then
Yeah.
then the Yone just crushes his ego, you know? That could happen as well, because I know it happened to me. Like I was like, this matchup should be an auto win. Then somebody that had more experience with their champion, I just got shit on, and you know,
Right.
you're just like, how am I not winning this matchup though? It's like an auto win, but apparently it's not always like that.
That's what Dzukill's really good at, is figuring out how to win matchups. He said that's his favorite thing. It's like thinking about the game and
Yep.
how to win any matchup.
Yeah, I mean that's where like summoner's pass as well come in the play, right? Now he sees everybody is most likely topside. Here's a Jhin. Oh, he messed up. He got his flash at least. He's greedy. I mean, was there anything he could do more correctly in here?
Could be worth.
Like he saw
to
the
take
Jhin
this
W,
match.
right? He saw the Jhin W, right? Let's see if there was
Yeah.
anything he could do better. But it's really a niche scenario. I mean, he could ban like as soon as he gets into the enemy jungler, he could ban Oracle faster than Oracle in here, right? Which is like a slight mistake, because if anything is warded around this area, Jhin knows that he's here, right? Now in here
Yeah.
he spots the Jhin, he spots his trap, right? He spots Jin's W, and Jhin is here then. Jhin is exactly here.
Yeah.
Because it's shown like his original spot, right?
Mhm.
So he could ban really,
ER
he could ban R
would be.
this, he could ban R this, right? He doesn't even need to E, but yeah, I guess he got this flash anyways, it's not a big deal, but I think he messed up a bit his Q. I think he queued into the wall and not over it. Like in here I think he didn't queue over the wall, which he could really easily do, no? I think he queued into the wall, which messed up his position a tiny bit, right? Yeah, I think he queued a bit too early, huh? Yeah, because he didn't really go through
Mhm.
the wall. Like he could ban E earlier. I do believe he could ban
He
E
could have
earlier.
E'd earlier. Yeah.
Then he doesn't have to give up his ultimate for Jin's flash. Jin would flash anyways the Yone Q probably, right? So that would be like a spare of ultimate, right? Okay, so Jin is topside, Kane is topside, he sees most of them topside, he doesn't look at himself though. Sidesteps it though, it's fine. Woo, that's a lot of damage. Oh, he couldn't connect it, right? It's a bit...
It's unlucky he lost the shield bow here.
he's kind of forced to recall right now, no?
He's getting
Maybe...
collapsed.
Yeah, maybe he wants to greed, but if Jin has his Gale Force, he can't do much, right? So it's really greedy. He could even walk into the bush and recall, but I guess he wants to do it the safe way. Yes, he wants to do it in the safest possible way. Maybe Jin just randomly W sims, so I guess he just wants to do it in the safest possible way, right? In here, I
Yeah.
think you could even hold into his recall and heal up with his items from the minions under tower if Talia doesn't stay. And I feel like most likely Talia won't stay for the tower because it has too much HP, and for a mage it would take too much time to take the tower down, so he could just sneak the... He could heal himself up, but he gets infinity though, so it's fine. I assume he gets infinity before Drake, so yeah, it's actually better if he resets, right? I think the Jhin is actually Magic Felix apparently on the enemy side.
Wow.
I'm not sure. I think it's the video. It's not. I think it's the video that. Yeah. Sometimes it stops. I think he's tabbing or something. I'm not sure why does it show like that.
Maybe.
So he's often side laning. The reason for that he's side laning is because they got all sorts of dashes, and it's like they got DL forces, they got Yumi mobility. It's kind of hard for him to team fight against such a comp, right? But
So he goes for dragon here.
yeah, like
Is this correct?
yeah, I think it's fine. It's fine to try to sneak it. Meantime, they Meantime, they do a team fight, but it's a bit greedy, yeah? There is like some level of greediness in it, right? But since Yone has such a, like he has Infinity Edge, he has like the other item, Shield Bow, he has lots of damage towards such a big objective, so he can sneak
Yeah.
it, you know? Like there was a team fight
Okay.
and he has a lots of DPS, right? He has lots of damage, so...
He's delaying the soul, I guess, by doing that.
Yeah, he's definitely delaying the soul, right? Like yeah, there is like a slight risk if it's warded, right? And maybe people will rotate instead of fighting, then there's like a slight risk of it. But he had the ultimate up, so there is a ward where he just uses his E and picks up a kill on like most of them if they get ulted by Yone, they are just dead. So it's hard to step up, you know, for the Drake. So that's was probably his thought process as well. If they contest, best case scenario, he at least goes for a 1-for-1 as well. So it's really hard to collapse on the Yone without him getting anything out of the situation.
Yeah.
In here, like Baron is coming soon, right? He just picks up the wave, he sees everybody on the map. Right now he wants to reset. Chain West, really important item, reduces a lot of damage from Kayn, from Jhin, from these AD champions, right? Riven, right? And Kayn and Jhin goes for some level of lethality, which right, the Jhin goes for Collector, so it means Chain West is really good against him, right? Same as
Yep.
Kayn goes lethality, so armor is really good to counter those things. It's just generally good. He rushed the armor. You see, he rushed the armor, not the pickaxe, not the longsword, because at this point he has enough damage. He wants to invest more so into defensive stats. That was his thought process. So we got the Jhin kill, we got the Riven kill. Let's see if they rush Baron. They could really easily rush Baron from my opinion, because if he ever gets a tornado on Kayn, meantime he hovers around, he would be just dead to his ultimate. So it's really hard to... It's hard for Jhin to for Kayn to contest, but because we got an Ami ultimate as well. So in here he could man just control ward over. If they greed for it, he just collapses on them. If they don't, then we see where they are, which means it's easier to connect a Q ultimate, right? So he's hovering around, right? I think he could ban ult the Yumi ult and just kinda like get the prediction, honestly. But I guess it's not a big deal, like he could ult the Yumi root, so he cancels himself out of the root, right? But I guess it's not a big deal, because he doesn't really know where Kayn will bounce out, right? Someone is on the other side of the wall. Yeah, I
I'm
know.
surprised he doesn't go on the Tilia there.
Yeah, the positioning was a tiny bit bad, because this got control warded recently. It means somebody is here, Riven. It's not Talia, it's either Riven or the other guy, right? The AD carry. And like how he positioned was a bit sketchy in here, because he shouldn't like position more so inwards. Like if he positions like this towards the ward, it means he gives a chance for the AD carry to attack him, for Riven to all in him. Like if Riven jumps through the wall with her Q, she will be exactly on top of Yone, she will exactly knock him up. So generally what he could then do, he could like even maybe E through this ulter or something, right? But it's bad from another standpoint as well to stay in here, because you generally take more damage behind the Baron. So usually you wanna stay like more so in front of it, right? Like around this area. But I think he felt safe because he had exhaust. He exhausted instantly, right? But it wasn't enough, right? It just wasn't enough. So I think, yeah, I think committing into Talia, it would be better, because it disallows Riven from collapsing on him, right? I think he was just confident because he had exhaust. His exhaust was well timed. He has cast the pressed spell upon pressing another spell option on. I never have that thing on. I wonder what's it connected with, right?
Not sure. I don't have that on either.
Okay, so in here the game goes on, he respawns.
Maybe for like ER, EAlt, EQ, it's like fast.
Yeah, like you should ban. Yeah, so the thing is, you should ban more so stay around Talia, maybe get an all-in on her, right? Because and maybe get an exhaust on her, because what's gonna happen if you hover on the behind the Baron? It got freshly control warded. It means somebody is around, right? Either Riven or the AD carry. So It's really like you can even identify if it's Riven or the AD carry. You could just check their inventory before they go for it, so that's like a way to identify who's there, right? So for example, if the whole map is missing and you tab, you see somebody has a control ward, and you're like really on a isolated spot, it might be just the person that control warded around.
Okay.
It's like one of the ways to think that. So he smited, we saw the Kane smited, right? That means we can possibly go for
Take
this
the red.
Take the red, go for
Ooh,
it's really big.
what a nice bait.
So those are really nice bait. I mean, apparently even in Challenger people fall for that, so it can happen, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he wants this Baron, he is pinging, but Kane is dead. I mean, he has no HP on Fiddlesticks, I guess, but I think Fiddlesticks could heal up with his W, or Yone could tank it, or... But I guess his teammates weren't in position, so they're not really like greeting or anything, right? So he picks these up, he will control ward, I mean he will normal ward for the vision foresight, I mean. Okay, now I mean here is kinda careless because we see everybody on the map except Riven. He's picking up everybody at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And in here what happens is they pick up the tower, or no, the Lucian picks it up, they don't have to all rotate for the tower. Then basically they're rushing this Baron because they got the soul, they got a lot of healing, it's really easy to secure it, right? I mean here he allows the Fiddlesticks to tank because he deals more damage, so that's why the Fiddlesticks tanks, right? What did he say?
Yeah, no, it just makes more sense for him to do the IE damage to the 6 tank.
Well, he will exhaust, he doesn't... I guess he doesn't need to, but I would exhaust it, you know? I guess he doesn't
Okay.
need to, but I would exhaust it.
Yeah, I think Dzukill likes to hold like his summoner spells.
Yeah, I guess
as
he,
much as
I guess he
possible.
knew he had the healings, right? He had the
Maybe
healing.
it's bad to do that though, because maybe
I mean, you wanna like
you might get...
exhaust, yeah, you wanna exhaust at the beginning of an all-in, not at the end of it, right? So, but I guess the Riven was too behind to do anything, and his thought process was like he has a lot of armor, he has the healing from the Drake and from his items, so he thought
Yeah.
he was like he can probably stat check it, so
In mid game, there was some time where I think he could have gotten 2 exhaust stuff in, but he never used exhaust. So
I mean maybe he knows the champion so well that he knows when to hold into the right. He knows when to hold into the exhaust. That definitely takes knowledge, you know. Like sometimes you don't have to exhaust, but there is like a risk if you hold into it, right? So that's the thing, right?
yeah,
Like 2 times he
and
didn't
then
exhaust, right? That was a bit sketch for me, but apparently it works out if you really know the limitations, right?
yeah, I guess. Sometimes it sucks to not have a whole game played and you haven't used your summoner spell only like 3 times.
Yep. But you know, there is a lots of wisdom into knowing when to hold into your summoner spells and when to just get value out of your base abilities.
Okay. So he's just calculated.
I guess he just calculated right after so many own games, like definitely. That was a bit of a mistake, but that thing happens apparently even to challenger players, that they walk into the tower range thinking a minion is under it. I think that should be fixed somehow by Riot Games or something, I don't know.
How can Riot Games fix that?
I don't know, just make an indicator, like why isn't there an indicator though? Like,
Is this like League on easy mode?
but like honestly, like both games they have indicators, but like average games they don't have, and I don't know why. Cause people walk into, like even in lower ranks, people walk into tower range, right? They greet for autos, they get tower shotted. Like I don't know why the range is not shown. Like there is no reason to. I don't think
Okay.
I don't think so there is like a reason to. Do you have anything to ask that didn't get showed in the game?
No, no, I explained everything.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, so like out of like 10, how much would you rate it?
9?
9. Okay, and why is one missing though? Like, real.
I just feel like when we're talking about summoner spells, like I feel like maybe
Didn't say the N word enough.
exactly, yeah, true.
Not enough N words, gotta work on that.